Hello and welcome to our Festivals and Festivities video. I'm Gabrielle Hopkins, Adult Librarian at the Chelsea District Library. I'll be your narrator for these historical photographs. There have been many wonderful festivals in Chelsea over the decades that we don't have digitized photos for yet, so our video will not be all-encompassing, but we do hope you enjoy what is included. Chelsea's memorable festivals have run the gamut from very large, like major anniversaries of Chelsea in the United States, to relatively smaller events like Summerfest. We'd like to share some of the most memorable photographs from our local history collection. These images highlight Chelsea's festivals and festivities throughout the years, starting with our earliest festival photograph. And here it is, the earliest festival image in our collection. This is Sports Day from September 3rd and 4th in either 1908 or 1910. There's contradictory dates in our historical records. Sports Day was an annual festival which at first featured horse and buggy races, as well as a parade down Main Street. Main Street was a dirt road at this time. By 1917, cars had joined in on the parade. In 1925, horse races became car races down the paved Main Street. This photo is from the 1925 Sports Day, which had high attendance, especially considering that the population of Chelsea was significantly lower in those days. Now, the bulk of our festivities photo collection consists of two enormous festivals. The first, which is Chelsea's 125th anniversary, is one you've probably seen pictures and heard about. We currently have two videos on stories of Chelsea, one called Village Life and the other is simply Chelsea's 125th anniversary, that feature some video and pictures already, including an in-depth coverage of the Brothers of the Brush. I have some different photographs from the event to show you. I'd like to start off with something cool. This is the schedule of events for the 125th anniversary celebration. It's been split into two and enlarged so you can hopefully read it better. Chelsea's 125th was a grand affair, and plans started for it after someone found an American Legion pin honoring Chelsea's centennial in 1934. This person brought it up to the Chamber of Commerce, and thus a committee was formed and people started planning. The major events happened over the week of July 11th through the 18th in 1959, but there were also events leading up to that and after that into 1960. In addition to large events like parades, concerts, and the carnival at the fairgrounds each night, there were smaller events like milking contests and harnessing contests. This is the rest of the 125th schedule of events. This is a photograph from an event prior to the huge celebration week. It is Visiting Mayor Day, which happened on May 18th, 1959. I don't have the gentleman's name, unfortunately, but it was a day of a lot of meetings, including with the Kiwanis Club and the Brothers of the Brush. They had numerous events for him. In this one, they are pretending to lock him up. Here they are presenting him with a large symbolic key to the village. They also had a parade for him with the marching band. Moving on, these are artifacts from the 125th. On the left is a funny promotion that the Brothers of the Brush pinned to their jackets or shirts. I particularly like the "No, my wife doesn't like it" part. They were different colors, including yellow, blue, and pink, and made of cardstock. On the right, we also have pins from the brothers and then the Chelsea bells, as well as a wooden nickel for the carnival. Here are other brochures for the 125th events, including the huge program they did called Remembering When. There was also a Queen's Ball and a promotion for the souvenir dinner plates, which I have photos of coming up. I wanted to include a few parade photographs, even though some parade photographs are in the 125th videos on Stories of Chelsea. These are different angles and too impressive to leave out, I think. The first one is a model of Jiffy. This one is really something. There's a lot of photographs of this float. It's really pretty, I think, with the Chelsea Belle at the back. These ladies are members of the Pub Bar Belles. They wore bright red can-can dresses, complete with hats, and they participated in a square dance downtown as well as in the parade. The last of the parade floats, we have the Frontier Days float, complete with an outhouse. The Sylvan Center City Slickers, Brothers of the Brush, have a fun story I'd like to share. There was a joke that the police had given them orders the week prior that they weren't to come back, so this photo was taken the following week as an assertion of their rights. This was all in jest, of course, to go along with all the other zany activities of the brothers. This is the 125th commemorative plate that I mentioned earlier, both the front and the back. The plate has 7 pictures of various Chelsea sites, and the price of the plate was $1.50, which is about $13.34 in 2020. The plates were for sale in a few different stores, including Foster's and Chelsea Drug. There's also the official seal of the 125th, and it's included on the plate as well. So in 1960, as events were still going, this is a flyer for a vaudeville show in April of 1960, which had singing, dancing, and comedy acts. The left is the flyer itself, and then on the right is the front and back of a ticket from the show. Proceeds from the show went to 3 village improvement funds. Also over 1959 and 1960, various families dressed in historic costumes and had professional photographs taken by Ralph Gunther as a part of the celebration. I'll read off the families' names as you might be related to one of them. On the left is Mr. and Mrs. B. Graham, and on the right is the Frank Adult family. Here we have the Les Bennett family on the left and the Rowe family on the right. We also have the John Elber family on the left and Mr. and Mrs. Ed Kelly on the right, and I hopefully said everyone's names correctly. Moving on to our next huge celebration, we have the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The bicentennial sparked huge celebrations all over the United States, and Chelsea and the surrounding areas were no exception. These upcoming images that captured so many great moments of the events are from our Vern Auto collection. Here we have a photograph of Chelsea's seal for the bicentennial. The clock tower is prominently featured in the middle. A photograph of the opening of the Chelsea Bicentennial headquarters, donated by the UAW Local 437. This is Chairwoman Jean Ramenschneider and Norman Farley. This photograph is from March 16, 1976, of the Women's Charter of the Brothers of the Brush, and they are promoting their meetings. And while they're doing it, they are wearing historical costumes. During the spring of '76, many farmers plowed and planted their fields using the tools of the past. They used Ralph McCullough's Belgian horses and then mules owned by Archie Bradbury. This was called plowing for paper, and the particular photograph was taken on April 6th. This is from May 21st, 1976. There were quite a few contests that day, and this is the finish line of a tricycle race. They also had a bicentennial rocking chair contest. If you haven't heard of that before, while I don't know the exact rules of this particular contest, the goal is to rock longer than anyone else. The contestants typically get breaks at some point. A great shot of a pie eating contest, also from May 21st, '76. That's not how I like to eat my pie, but to each their own. Also, a watermelon eating contest. I love the conspiratorial look on the little girl's face with Brett's on the right. A tug of war, of course, still a popular activity today. And here we have a log rolling competition on Letts Creek. On June 12th, 76, there was a Trinkle's Barn Dance. Then on June 13th, there was a large parade in Jackson, and this was the Chelsea Clock Tower float. That wraps up our bicentennial photograph collection. The Chelsea Fair is a long-standing festival that is highly anticipated every year. Now, when I say 83 years and counting, that's only officially, and I'll talk about that shortly. There are currently photographs from the 1956 fair on Stories of Chelsea, A Visit to the Fair. We don't have many pictures digitized yet otherwise. We do have fair premium books scanned in, starting with 2004. This is the schedule of events for the 2004 fair, which was the 67th. Now this is very recent. This is the schedule of events from the 2018 fair book. I've included this because I think it's interesting to see how the fair grows each year, even though many of the events are traditional. Going back to the 67th fair book, it includes the champions from previous years. This is enlarged so you can see it better. While I talk a little about the history of Chelsea's fair, I thought we could take a look at these previous champions. These are the homemaker champions. These are the lamb champions and buyers. Now, although the commonly known Chelsea Fair was in 1937, the first fair, albeit much smaller, was 140 years ago in 1872. The 1872 fair took place on October 3rd and 4th on the property of Dr. R.B. Gates, which was a mile southeast from Chelsea Center. These are the pig champion buyers. In 1872 and thereafter, horse racing was extremely popular. There was a racing arena on the United Methodist Retirement Community Grounds, then called the Methodist Home. The fair took place there for many years. We have the cattle champions here. And in 1951, the fairgrounds found their permanent home on Old US 12 and Manchester Road. There are many more structures now than then. Here we have the former fair queens. To wrap up the Chelsea Fair, we have an image of the parade from the 2004 fair. To conclude our video, I just have a few more photographs to look at from our collection. Washtenaws 4-H Fair is another large event, and many of the youth who compete also compete in the Chelsea Fair. 4-H has been an important part of the community, giving younger people a medium to learn about farm animals. This photograph is from the 1920s and was taken in the town hall. Our last two images are of performers from the 2004 Summerfest program on the McCune lawn. Chelsea Summerfest is now known as the Sounds and Sights Festival, which along with the fair is a Chelsea Festival staple. The Summer Festival started about 30 years ago. Music has been an important part of Chelsea festivities. We hope you've enjoyed this look into our local history collection. For more, including videos, please visit storiesofchelsea.org. ChelseaFestivals.com is a good place to look if you'd like current information on festivals. Thank you for watching.